What you're looking at isn't just a prop to me. This is a piece of my childhood. This is a full-scale, 3D engineered, 3D printed Halo Energy Sword replica. Boy, wasn't that a tongue twister. You wouldn't imagine how many times I had to do that. Took a little expertise, but I brought this thing to life with a little bit of transparent filament, some stencils, LED lights, and some metal rod to bring it all together. Now, you know I love my soldering iron. I even had to redesign this whole handle. It was a little bit of a challenge, but we'll get into that later. Now, I know this looks like a simple build, but I promise you it wasn't as easy as it looks. With only a 2-week crunch period, you guys know I'm trying to stay within 2 videos every month. I just finished up the Ultimate Wolverine and I had to get this one done while working a full-time job. It wasn't really that easy, guys. There was a lot of blood, sweat, and tears. But even with all the challenges, I had one goal in mind: to bring something from my childhood to life. From camping out with my friends at midnight launches, to getting Mountain Dew bottles just to get some double XP. Bro, if you had an Xbox, leave your gamer tag, but I'm pretty sure you wouldn't want to because they were crazy back in the day. Man, looking back at it, this wasn't easy, but this was all worth it. I think this is a Halo Energy Sword that's worthy of any Halo Spartan. So if you're into 3D printed cosplay, like tech builds, or just like to see things kind of come together, this is definitely the video for you. And I'll give you a small hint as to what's coming up next. Let's get into it. This is going to be me assembling the actual parts of the blade. As you can see, the main thing that I did have to change was at least adding a little bit more depth to the blade itself, just so that the LEDs can fit in within the blade. Pieces line up pretty easily, so there's not much that I have to do there. They did leave some some ports. And in those ports, I'm going to be able to either put some wooden sticks or wooden dowels, or see if I need to put some metal rods in there to keep everything tight and together. I filled these with about 12% infill, so I don't think it should be too heavy, but I think the soldering iron is warm enough, so let's go ahead and get into the actual assembly. Okay, so now the main part of the assembly is completed. As you can see, all of the parts of the sword are connected and they clip on to each other. But now in completing that, I kind of came up with like a new challenge for myself. So if you notice this screen image here, with the energy sword, one thing that I've noticed is like, you can see like those like either like gashes or kind of like electrical looking vibes that this sword kind of gives. Now I can just throw LED lights into this, but I'm thinking like, yo, I think that's something that's really gonna make this pop and really make it look realistic. So handy dandy Amazon, I actually found these stencils, which I thought were electric like stickers. Now with this, there are 2 options that I could basically use. I can basically just put the stencil in and do what it's supposed to do. I can use some of the Posca pens and kind of like mark this out. Or what I'm doing now is basically cutting this out and using kind of like an X-Acto knife to make sure that those melt in. Let me show you what it looks like. Yeah, go ahead, make fun of me. So I'm just starting out. So as you can see, I'm putting the pieces in. I'm kind of like figuring what's gonna go where. And then like I said, from there, I'm gonna use the X-Acto knife to make this look a lot more exact. So this is kind of like my first time doing this. I really hope that it does shine and light through, because I think that this is definitely gonna give a different element to the blade itself. So let's see how that works out. Check out this time lapse of me putting it together. All right guys, now we're in the fourth quarter. Now it's time to bring all this assembly together and make it really pop and look like what it's supposed to. As you can see, the stencil worked out perfectly. When I left just the stencil in by itself and used some lights, it didn't really shine through. So I just used it for its intended purpose and used some of those Posca pens and used some of the silver. Now when I tested that out, that really gave it the effect that I wanted to. And I can't wait to actually throw these LED strips. So these are going to be 10-inch or 10-foot strips that I'm going to throw in there to actually power this up and give it some light. But before we do that, I actually ran into one little problem. Now in the creation of this file, as you can see, those little small rectangles, they have 4 of those. I guess intentionally what they created this piece to do was with some small little wooden dowels, or some small little wooden sticks. You're supposed to fit those 4 pieces in and hold this together. Me personally, I don't really think that that's gonna hold everything together. So I actually got this metal rod. And make sure you guys do stay tuned for my upcoming Blue Beetle build, because this is the same metal rod that I'm actually gonna use to make sure that the blade stays together, it's sturdy, and it's durable. Now, of course, with that, circles don't really fit into squares. So as you guys can see, I got my handy dandy drill and a 1/4-inch bit, which I'm gonna drive through on this very delicately to make sure that everything goes through. And they actually left right dead center a little small square that I'm going to use my soldering iron, and I'm going to make that a little bit bigger so that way the LED lights fit perfectly right through here. And who knows, the lights might even light up this handle, so it might give it a cooler effect that I didn't even know. So now let's make some magic. We just got the handle and some lights. Let's put these together and make it do what it do. Let's get to it, guys. Whew. I'm not gonna lie to you guys, this one really did push me. As you see, I did start out with the 1/4-inch bit, but then after that I literally had to just cut everything open from the 2 corner pieces, and even still the fitting isn't just perfect. The LED lights did work and go right through, but even on the camera I think it's kind of coming through a little bit fuzzy. Like I said, this was a real crunch, so this is something that I don't really want to call a masterpiece. I'm definitely going to be doing this one again, so definitely leave a comment if you do want to see me do this again, because I want to make this a lot better, the same way with these blades. But even with all the struggle, I did learn a lot that I'm going to put into this Blue Beetle sword. First being the metal rods, really finding out what the perfect size is for something, and when using transparent filament, it's very good to print in a lot more thicker infill, so that way the print is more durable and everything sticks together a lot easier. And that way the lights diffuse a lot easier as well, or a lot better. But like I told you guys, this is all a journey. This is all a step. Like you guys see, I finally found a place for the Winter Soldier arm. I'm going to be working in the Wolverine claws as well, one at a time. But full cosplays, full suits, full armors do come with certain weapons. So the repetition and the practice that I'm getting now is definitely going to come out to when I do something in full. I'm not going to lie, this one didn't come out the best, but it's still shocking. I know you guys probably love it there. This is going to be its home. I did make sure I got some hooks to make sure that this thing stayed up and stayed sturdy. I can't really move it around. That's why I made sure to just keep her here up on the hooks. But this was going to be more so of a display piece. Like I said, moving into next year, I'm definitely doing this again. But as you guys know, there's always something new coming up. Definitely make sure that you stay to the end of the video to see what it is. Make sure you do hit the subscribe button if you're not currently a subscriber, and hit the like button and leave a comment. Like I said, what was your gamer tag? Don't hide it. And let me know what other props that you would like to see me build as well. As you know, I'm always moving, always building something. Besides that, guys, you know it's always hard to say goodbye, but it's BZ Comics. It's been real. Peace.